Hello friends, it's me, Jess. Welcome back to my channel. Alright guys, so today is a very cool day. I am doing my May TBR for you guys, as you can clearly see by the title, description, whatever the case. And I'm just really excited because this TBR is the biggest TBR that I've done, even though I've only done one previously. But I'm challenging myself with doing a lot of hard paperback books, hardcover and paperback. I'm doing some audiobooks, but the thing is about the audiobooks, I haven't found a few audiobooks that I'm wanting, and I have some on hold on Libby, so through my local library. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to read those this month. I have high hopes. One of them I'm about to read, and it was on hold for I think 16 weeks, but then like 2 days later I got a copy. So I don't know if it's going to be like that for all the other audiobooks that I'm hoping to listen to, but I am really excited. Now the only thing that I don't have in this TBR are Kindle books, and the reason being is because I have yet to find free Kindle books that I like, and so I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of Kindle reading this month. If I do, I'll let you guys know about that. But for now, it's paperbacks, hardcovers, and some audiobooks. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The first book that I have in my hand is You Had Me at Hola by Alexis Daria. Now this is a 2020 published book. It is a contemporary romance, and I think it might be the only romance that I have in my TBR, maybe just one more. I picked this up at Target, you guys, purely because of the cover. It is so freaking beautiful. I can tell that we have a just hunk of a man right here. We have a beautiful dashing lady, and so I was just like really kind of curious to see what this book was about. And I don't know really anything other than the synopsis on the back, and it looks like we are going to follow a main character named Jasmine Rodriguez, who just had a very messy tabloid breakup. And she wants to basically just put her mindset into work and career. So she auditioned for a new telenovela. She got the role as the leading lady. And I guess there was a casting mix-up. And so she ended up being co-stars with this guy, who his name is Ashton Suarez. And so he's supposed to be this like very popular telenovela person. I don't think in America though. And then his background is that he just got killed off his recent telenovela, and he's kind of scared that because of that death that he's going to basically have an end to his career. So he decides that he's going to audition for this new telenovela with his co-star. And he's thinking that with doing that, he could probably go up in the ranks with American acting, and that he could make a name for himself. And he's hoping that everything's gonna go to plan. He thinks that there's gonna be like a steamy hot romance. But I guess the first time that they end up meeting each other, something embarrassing or chaotic happens. And so he thinks that they're gonna have a hard time having steamy hot romance on camera. So one day, supposedly, and this is all the synopsis, you guys, but one day they decide to rehearse in private, and of course rehearsing ends up to kissing, kissing leads up to other things, and so on and so forth, and they end up developing, I think, a steamy romance off screen. However, it seems like that is going to kind of falter, and she might have more tabloid publicity that she doesn't want, and then he might not have the best acting career, is what I'm thinking. I cannot wait to kind of start this lovely read. I think this is gonna be I don't think I've read a steamy romance in quite some time, so I think this is going to be the first for me in 2021, which I love romances. I typically don't gravitate toward them for some weird reason, but I think I'm gonna have an adoring time with this book. The next book I have in my hand is The Mayfair Mystery by Richardson. Now, I bought this quite some time ago, literally over 2 years ago, I think. And the main reason, is because of this beautiful cover. So it looks like we have an insect, some type of spider or something. Then we have a girl who looks like she's in shock because she looks like she's about to get murdered. And then we have a guy who looks like he's about to grab her. So I literally bought it because of that. Also, it is kind of old-timey. So this book itself is actually from 2015, but the story itself is from 1907. So it is over 100 years old. That is really crazy to say. The only thing, and the genre, by the way, is crime/fiction. Obviously, it looks like that based off of the cover. And you know, I'm kind of torn with this book because I looked on Goodreads and it was rated a 2.67, you guys, which to me that's like very low, especially, well, even for a horror mystery or even a crime. Like I know sometimes those get rated low, but not that low. And I'm kind of thinking it's either because of the way it was written, so it is over 100 years old, meaning that we're gonna have some language, maybe some things that we're just not too familiar with, so maybe it was just a little bit hard for people to kind of grasp the story, I don't know. Or it might be one of those like solvable mysteries after like a couple of chapters in and there's not really a surprise towards the end. So either way, I'm really excited to start this. Since I've had this for quite some time, there are others on my shelf and next to me that I need to read, quite frankly, before I go book hauling again, which I really, really want to. I have that itch, but I need to be responsible and read books just like this one that I've had for quite some time, and then I can get a book haul. So either way, I'm really excited for this, and it's a fast-paced read. There's only 228 pages, so not too bad, and the writing looks, quite frankly, big. The next book I have is Bad Air Day by Wendy Holden. I'm super excited to read this book, you guys. I've had it for quite some time, but I've never opened it, and I really love this book. I love the colors. This looks like Tiffany blue with some pink, and it's just very shiny, and it just looks very girly, so I can't wait to read this. But if you're interested, so this girl, I think it might be her. I think her name is Anna. So she recently just got broken up with by her like fantastic hunk of a man, and she vows that she doesn't want to date anymore and she wants to focus her career, kind of just like You Had Me at Hola, and she wants to be an aspiring novelist. So she finds her way through working with a lady named Cassandra, who is a social climber from hell. She has a philandering husband, she has a huge mansion, she has Satan for her son, and so on and so forth. But the thing is that Cassandra, even though she is a huge writer, her career is basically stalled. So I'm assuming that Anna is going to do something to either rejuvenate that career, or maybe she's going to take over. I don't know. We have some drama I think that's going to ensue. And on top of that, there's this guy named Jamie who I guess somehow gets introduced to Anna, and he invites her to his castle in Scotland. And he's basically telling her that it's going to be more than her wildest dreams can ever imagine. And I just don't think that's true. So we're definitely going to have a humorous chick lit, and I'm so here for it, you guys. The book that I have in my hands now is The Kitchen House by Kathleen Grissom. So this is in the 19th century on a tobacco plantation in Virginia. And we follow a very young white girl named Lavinia who was unfortunately orphaned on her way to America from Ireland. And somehow, some way, she ends up at the kitchen house, which I don't know if that's just a part of the plantation or the plantation name itself. But she ends up under the care of Belle, who is the illegitimate black daughter of the master. And with Belle, she learns how to cook, clean, serve, basically all the etiquette that a young girl her age needs in this time period. However, since she is white, she has more privileges than the other slaves in the house, such as taking care of the master's, I think, opium-addicted wife, and she also befriends the master's son. So I think this is going to be a very enthralling book of Lavinia just kind of grappling with the two worlds that she now lives in, because it seems that she loves both of them and she doesn't know how they can kind of unite together. So I'm really interested to see how Kathleen kind of puts those two worlds together and see if they collide, but I think this is going to be a very hopeful story. Up next, we have Vixen by Jillian Larkin. So the reason, let's be honest guys, the main reason I chose this book was because of this beautiful cover. We have one of the main leading ladies in the front in her wedding dress with that beautiful flapper hair, the smoky eye. I mean, I'm loving it, the popping lip. This book I think is going to give me Great Gatsby vibes, and I cannot wait because this is definitely obviously historical fiction, but I think we're going to get a lot of drama ensued pieces in here. And this book follows three girls. So we have Gloria, Clara, and I think it's Lorraine. Yes. Now Gloria, who I'm assuming is this girl, she's 17 years old and she has the idea of being a flapper. She wants that lifestyle. She wants the cigarettes, the drinking, the hair, the makeup. She wants to go to all these nightclubs. However, she is engaged to a high socialite person named Sebastian, who I think his family runs from Chicago. And she's basically kind of on the line of, okay, how can I make my flapper lifestyle work now that I'm going to be a wife pretty soon? And then she has Clara. So Clara is her goody two-shoes cousin who literally came down to be with Gloria to make sure that this high socialite wedding happens. However, it seems that Clara is going to have some hidden secrets of her own, and she's going to do desperate things to make sure that they just don't come under the earth. She wants to make sure that they are buried. The third person that we're following is Lorraine, who is Gloria's best friend. And basically what I've gotten from the synopsis is that she's just tired of being Gloria's shadow. And I guess she's going to do some stuff that kind of hinders the relationship. So I know that this book is going to provide me all the drama that I'm going to need. As far as how big the book is, let's see, how many pages do we have? Oh, it is quite a lot. It looks like we're gonna have roughly 420 something pages. Yeah, 421 pages. But I think this is going to be somewhat of a medium paced read versus like a long read. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I don't know for sure, I haven't looked at it, but the language might be different. Depending on how the author wrote it, it could be, you know, modern day English, or it could be how people spoke back in the 20s. I'm not too sure, but I'm just gonna assume this is a medium paced read. Either way, I can't wait. Up next is Gillian Flynn's Dark Places. Now, I don't know anything about this mystery thriller. I do know that Jillian, she wrote Sharp Objects, which is an HBO limited series that I have not seen yet. I don't know why, but I've heard such great reviews about that and this book as well. So I'm really excited to see what this has to kind of be about. I really don't know anything other than the synopsis. Now, the synopsis says that we're following a girl named Libby Day. And when she was younger, her mother and two sisters were brutally murdered in something called the Satanic Sacrifice. And I guess during that time, she told the courts that her brother actually was the one who killed her mother and two sisters. So he is currently in prison. Now, 25 years later, a group of people called the Kill Club, I think, yes, they're a secret society obsessed with notorious crimes. They want to basically pump her for information and see if they could possibly find evidence that would set her brother Ben free. And Libby decides, why not? I guess I'll just kind of do this, but for a fee. So she wants to profit off of anything that the Kill Club finds. And she doesn't think that anything would happen because she's pretty certain, I think, that her brother was the one who committed the murder. However, some things go awry, things are not as they seem, and I think the killer is still out there, you guys. So I'm really interested in this. I think that this is going to be a very, very fast-paced read. There's not that many pages. I think it's like 340-ish, 345, something like that. So not that big of a read. I think it's going to be fast-paced. Typically with mysteries or thrillers, just in general, I have an easy time just getting through them so quickly, and I don't think that this is an exception. So, or no, I think it, yeah, I don't think it's going to be an exception. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but yeah, this is going to be awesome, guys. Next book that I have is Cassandra Clare's Clockwork Angel. I think this is book number 1 in the Infernal Devices trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. Honestly, guys, I have no clue what this book is about. I picked it up a long time ago, like actually probably when it first came out, and I just never got to it. And honestly, I don't know why. So I really don't know anything about this. I mean, clearly it looks like it's set in London. That's Big Ben. I don't know who this guy is. And based off of Goodreads, it looks like the genre is fantasy, it's YA, romance, it has paranormal stuff, steampunk, and it's also historical fiction. Oh, there's vampires and angels. Well, obviously there's angels, but it says there's vampires. So I'm assuming that this is going to be some type of like mystical fantasy that's set in some early, maybe 20s, 30s time period. I don't know. I'm not going to read too much into this, you guys. I kind of want to go in it blind. I've heard a lot of good things about this series, and I think the Mortal Instrument series, it says that this is a prequel, so I'm not too sure if I'm supposed to read this first and then do the Mortal Instruments, because I think this came out after Mortal Instruments. I'm not too sure, you guys, but either way, even though it's a big-ish book, I don't know how many pages. Yeah, oh yeah, it's like 450 something pages. This is going to be, I think, one of the longest books that I have, but I can't wait to start the series, and I really hope I'm going to enjoy it. Up next is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. Now, honestly, guys, I don't know too much about this. I know that this was a 2020 book, and according to Goodreads, it's a fiction horror novel with vampires, there's paranormal, and it's a mystery thriller as well. So I'm super excited to read this book. I don't know anything going into this book. I kind of don't want to, so I'm just kind of leaving it up to my imagination to figure out what this is. I mean, the cover, I think those look like oranges. I don't know, but I've just heard so much hype about this book, and to be quite honest, I want to hop on that train and be with you guys because I feel like everyone and their mom has read this book and I'm the only one left out. So this is the last hardcover or just paperback book in general that I'm going to be reading. So up next are the audiobooks. Okay, so my very first audiobook for this series, I've kind of already started it, and it's Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. Now, this came out recently, sometime in March or April, I'm guessing. And of course, it's a memoir, it's an autobiography, which means it's nonfiction. So this is the only nonfiction on my plate right now. And the reason why I'm considering it in my May TBR is because I literally just picked it up, and I know that I'm not going to complete it until May starts. Like, it is what it is, you guys. So I'm completing it in here, and I have to admit that it is so heartwarming. It's very sad because it follows Michelle through her life basically while her mom was battling and then dying of cancer. So it is kind of I would say it's triggering if you've definitely dealt with stuff like that. I know I have in my family with cancer related issues, so this does kind of hit close to home. But it also is a very exciting read because this is, besides I would say the Crazy Rich Asians trilogy, this is another Asian or Asian American novel that I have picked up. And quite frankly, I'm really enjoying it. I love kind of learning about the different cultures, the different foods, because I would definitely say if you're interested or if you really love books that have people come together over food, this is definitely one of those books. And I've just been learning a lot, you guys, about Korean culture, and especially with Korean Americans who constantly kind of have to battle with their identity of being American but also Korean, and especially if they're mixed race. So Michelle, her dad is white and her mom is Korean. So I get to see kind of a lot of insight of how her childhood and adolescent years were as a Korean American. This is definitely not going to be the last book that I pick up with Korean. Either it has a Korean main character or it talks about some type of Korean fiction, I don't know, but this is definitely not going to be the last book. And quite frankly, I'm really excited because I feel like I just opened a door into another culture that I'm actually kind of really loving. And Michelle Zauner, her writing, it's so beautiful. It's kind of, how do I say it? It's a very tragic book because we know that the ending isn't hopeful. Her mom does pass away from cancer. So we know the ending, and you know, before we obviously start the book. And so I'm just kind of torn with my emotions. I mean, there are some parts that are so happy, and then there are some parts that are very tragic that Michelle has to deal with. And I'm dealing with it alongside of her. So I don't know, guys. I think this is honestly for me. I haven't finished it yet, so I know I'm rating this a little bit too soon, but to me this is going to be 5 stars because Michelle did an amazing job with this. So I highly recommend, if you don't really like nonfiction and you're looking for something other than fiction, and you're looking for maybe something out of your comfort zone, such as a different culture, I highly recommend that you pick it up. Up next is an audiobook that I'm really hoping that I can read. I'm currently on hold right now for the next couple of weeks, and so I'm hoping, just like Crying in H Mart, that I can get it within like a couple of days. I just hope people just finish it so quickly and then I'm up next, or maybe people just return it back to Libby's library, I don't know. But the book is called The Last Tiara by MJ Rose. I'll have it up here somewhere. This is a historical fiction. It's mystery. It has, yeah, it's just a historical fiction, and it lists it as a fiction mystery novel. So I don't really know too much about it. I was scrolling through Libby's library and this came out recently on their website. So basically, don't know anything about it. I haven't looked it up on Goodreads. The only thing I know is the little synopsis, and it says that we're following a girl named Isabel whose mother named Sophia Moon has died, and her mother is Russian and basically just had a lot of secrets that she held literally into her death. And Isabella is just thinking that she's never gonna learn of her mother's secrets or her true identity as a Russian lady. And one day, surprisingly, she's obviously doing housework, she's doing cleaning work, and she finds a tiara that has all of its jewels missing, I think. And so she kind of is wondering, okay, like this looks like a real tiara, let me do some research. And I think through her research, she goes through a journey where she kind of learns who her mom is, and on top of that, she, I think, is going to figure out who her father is, who is an unknown man to her. She doesn't have any connection to him, and I'm just really interested in this book. It kind of reminds me, or no, I'm getting hints of Princess Diaries, just because, like, I knew she knew her mom, but like her dad, like she didn't really know anything about her dad's history. It turns out that she's like a princess, and so I'm really hoping that even though this is like a mystery novel, I hope it's like one of those novels where she turns out that she's maybe from a royal family, or maybe she's like a high socialite person in Russia. I don't know, but I'm really interested in it. I can't wait to start it. I'm hoping I get it. The next audiobook that I'm going to be listening to is called One by One by Ruth Ware. Now, I don't know too much about this book other than the fact that it's available on Libby and that it is a mystery thriller. However, looking at the synopsis on Libby, it seems like we're going to be following 8 characters who are snowed in at a Swiss Alps ski chalet, I think is what we're going to be at. And it seems like everything is going well. It's just a normal business retreat, presentations, meetings, yada yada yada, and it looks like one of the shareholders wants to do a lucrative buyout, and in doing so it causes a lot of chaos among the 8 individuals. So we're going to see a lot of hidden agendas, personalities. I'm pretty sure that are going to be really not so nice, basically, and I think a lot of things are going to unfold. So I'm super excited. I don't think that this is like a murder mystery or anything like that. I think it's just going to be kind of testing the limits between loyalties and friendships in a business world. So that is the next book that I'm going to be listening to, and I cannot wait. Okay guys, I actually kind of lied to y'all in the beginning. I do have a Kindle book through Libby. I did think it was, or I thought it was an audiobook, and it turns out it is actually a Kindle edition book, and that is called All the Murmuring Bones by Angela Slatter. It was released on April 8th, 2021, so it is a new novel, and I'm really excited. It says that this is a, well, obviously it is a fiction, and it is a gothic horror novel with mer people. So I'm kind of intrigued to see how this is going to be. I haven't really read a lot of books with mermaids or anything related to like sea stuff, but it seems like we're following this girl named, I think her name's Myron. Yeah, it's Myron O'Malley, and basically her family made a deal with mer people that they could protect their ships, and every generation a child would just have to be given to the mer people. However, the family hasn't upheld their end of the deal for quite some time, so they haven't given a child away. Now, Myron's grandmother actually wants to make sure that everything is gung-ho, that a child is given off, and so she wants to, I think, give Myron away to the mer people. And so I think this book is going to kind of be a test for Myron to keep her freedom, and I don't really know how that's going to work or what's going to happen, but I'm super excited, and quite frankly, I hope it's great with mer people. I just never really thought of myself reading a book like this, but it intrigued me. It was in Libby, and I think it was just posted today, if not yesterday. So really excited, you guys. Well guys, that was it for my May TBR list. I think I had quite a lot of books, and again, they're all varying genres. That's how I like to do it. I really don't like to read just like all romance one month and all horror. Like, I do like a wide variety. Plus, like I said in the very beginning, I have to be a responsible adult and read books that I have bought from years and years and years past. So that is definitely what this May TBR is going to have. It's just a lot of older books. Not to say that they're not bad books or anything. I've just been a lazy person and just haven't read them and constantly want to go on book hauls. And I need to not do that yet. So without further ado, I really hope you like this video. Please don't forget to like this video if you really enjoyed this video. And I know I keep saying like in video and it sounds so weird. But anyways, don't forget to subscribe if you want more content. Don't forget to hit that bell notification. I always forget the bell notification, you guys, but it is there. And as always, if you want to follow me on other social media accounts, I'll have them all listed below. I have Instagram, TikTok, whatever, Goodreads, you name it, I pretty much have it down below. But with that, I hope you're having an awesome day wherever you are. I hope you're reading a bunch of lovely books this upcoming month. But yeah, guys, bye.